The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, horror fans, and welcome to episode 337 of Frightmares. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for 2011's The Cabin in the Woods is Gabrielle Proctor. My wife.
No. Okay, that's me.
My wife. You really love this movie. Feels like something that you probably picked for us.
Yeah.
Sounds
likely.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also love this movie. It's a great movie filled with tropes and tropes and tropes, but they also manage to subvert a lot of those tropes as well. So I really like that. I can't really remember my history with this movie, though. I know we've watched it together many a time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you may have shown me this for the first time, but I don't know because it came out in 2011. I was into horror movies at this point. I don't think this is necessarily something I saw in theaters. But, you know, I feel like I watched it in the 6 years before I met you. But I don't know. It's possible you showed this to me for the first time.
Well, when it comes to this film, I am, in fact, a lot of people's firsts. So, I remember when this came out because I saw Tucker and Dale around the same time. I was living in Colorado, going to school out there. And I remember going to the movies by where I lived. And I saw the giant cutout poster of the house that's all twisted and stuff, the movie poster, and saw Joss Whedon. And I went, what is that? That sounds interesting. That's all. I got on that, and then I saw Showtime, and I went and saw it with some roommates, and I was like, holy crap, that was great. And my best friend, Heather, was like, I was talking to her because she was in Florida at the time, still is. And she said, I'm really bored. I don't know what to do tonight. And I said, you should go see Cabin in the Woods. It was really good. And she's like, okay. Went and found a movie time, went and saw it, loved it. Proceeded to make our entire friend group in Florida watch it. It just kind of spiraled out from there. Where it was like, we're like, everybody needs to see this movie.
Yeah, you do that with a lot of movies, and that's, you know, it's not a bad thing. You just expose people to a whole bunch of good shit. So
if I think it's something that we're all going to enjoy, then yeah. So, I've done it with this one. I've done it with Deadstream. Recently we discussed Class of Nukem High is one I've subjected many people to.
I love the foreshadowing you're doing right now. And no one's going to know what that means until it's happening. But remember, Class of Nukem High. Just keep that fresh in your head.
For a nondescript amount of time.
For a nondescript amount of time. I'm not going to tell you why.
Past, present, or future. You don't know. Anyway, so, this was one of those big ones where as I've said, I'm sure on prior episodes, I'm a big fan of sometimes the poster looks cool. I'll go. A little harder now with the kid, but I used to just pop into the movies for random things with literally no idea what I was seeing.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I saw Book of Eli. I got the one sentence description. I just wanted to go to the movies. Literally no idea. Never saw a trailer, poster, anything. And I just went, and I love that movie. Same thing with The Warrior's Way, which is not loved by anybody else as much as it is by me, but
Which one?
The Warrior's Way. Apparently the combo of ninjas, cowboys, and carnies was not working for everybody else. I still have to show you that one. I think it's really fun, but apparently it's just me.
It's just you. I mean, there are some movies that are just you. I mean, you've turned me on to a couple. Muriel's Wedding is one that you've shown that to everyone.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Still want to talk to Toni Collette.
About Muriel's wedding?
Well, yeah, remember I told you, I DM'd her on Instagram and I was like, under the guise of let's talk about Hereditary, but then we're just going to talk about Muriel's wedding.
It's a smokescreen.
She'll never see it coming. She probably loved that, to be honest. So she only, I say only, but for someone of her caliber, only had like 327,000. So maybe she'll see. I'll basically die, though, if she answers. So
I would
stay tuned for
straight
that.
up collapse. Yeah.
Yeah, collapse.
Because Muriel's wedding. Yeah, I know. Look, I know there are certain films that only I find charming and fun. And I don't know what to say, man. I feel no shame about it. And I wish everybody else saw these films through my eyes. But I guess you don't. So that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. Every time I watch Muriel's wedding, I enjoy it a little bit more and a little bit more. So it's growing on me. But this is not a weird comedy movie from the 90s. 90s? 2000s? 80s? 90s. We're talking about The Cabin in the Woods
today. They talk about Nirvana.
Oh, Nirvana. Oh, yeah, that's right. Her actual accent. Because she's from Australia or New Zealand or something. Anyways,
Australia.
That's the one.
Set in Porpoise Spit.
Porpoise. Is that a real place?
I don't think it is.
It probably is. So before we get to that, we got to do this. We got to talk about what did Jason Hill make me watch this week. Oh, boy. Movie called Husk. Not to be confused with Tusk from 2011. A group of friends stranded near a desolate cornfield find shelter in an old farmhouse, though they soon discover the dwelling is a center of supernatural ritual. This is a Scarecrow movie, as made very apparent by the Scarecrow on the poster card. So, right off the bat, I thought I recognized someone, and it turns out I was correct. It is the guy who plays Scott also played young teenage Dexter in that show.
Yep.
Which was hilarious. It's like, wow, okay, you're definitely moving on to other things here.
It's one of those moments where you're like, look, there you are, doing stuff. Good for you.
He didn't have the long brown hair, and he had glasses and like dark black hair, so it was a little different. So that was really fun right off the bat. Notice that it's a very basic plot, like I said, the group gets stranded, there's a cornfield next to them, someone gets lost, they go to look for him, and then everyone starts getting chased down by this supernatural scarecrow thing.
Super ninja scarecrow.
Love it. One of the guy's girlfriends goes missing, and then the boyfriend takes that as an opportunity to blame another guy, and tensions rise. This is like one of my least favorite things in horror movies, when something happens to the group and then they start blaming each other like, oh, fuck you. No, fuck you. How about we just work together and get out of here? Because
this is not just, I want one character to be like, hey guys, this is not the moment to air your drama or your grievances. Hold your shit together until we know we're safe and will not die. Who slept with you? Let's not talk about it now.
Well, no one slept with her.
But as an example, I'm just saying, this is not the time for the airing of grievances, okay?
Yeah, because it's creating tension, sure, but it's creating tension amongst the group, and I just don't give a shit. Create tension about what's happening in the cornfield. I digress. Then this Scott, the guy who's played by young Dexter, he starts having these visions of like a dad and his two sons, and it makes this connection about how everything's working and stuff like that. Now, there is a lore dump, but it's a very guessing lore dump. They're like, he's like, this is what's going on, and explains everything perfectly. And I'm like, while I enjoy that, you're kind of just speculating as to what's going on. So kind of loosely made the connections. I did enjoy it though, even if it was a stretch. It's not reinventing the horror genre, but I don't think it's bad either. By all accounts, it's entertaining and it has solid production value. So I did enjoy it. Rating is a 2.4 out of 5, kind of low there on the totem pole. Jason gave it a 2 out of 5, and his review is, on the search for another good Scarecrow movie. Unfortunately, this one, while not awful, was not all that great either.
Yeah, Scarecrow movies are kind of hard to do, though, because I know there's a little bit in Annabelle Creation that was a little creepy.
With the scare? Oh, yeah, in the barn.
Yeah, but that's really brief. And I know there's an episode of Supernatural with a scarecrow type situation. and scary stories. But they're all really short because doing a long-winded story about a scarecrow is kind of hard when conceivably it's something you could probably light on fire.
Yeah, that's true. So I gave it a 3 out of 5. I did enjoy it. Like I said, it is not going to blow your mind, but for all intents and purposes, it's fun. I enjoyed it. Streaming on Tubi if you care to check it out. So once again, that is Husk from 2011.
Jason says, check it out. You'll probably hate it.
This one you might go either way on. I don't know. Some people will like it. Some people will hate it. That's what I'm going to go with. Anyways, let's talk about the highest grossing movies and Oscar winners for 2011. Highest grossing movie of the year goes to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, bringing in $1.3 billion. Highest grossing horror movie of the year, Paranormal Activity 3, $207 million. Pretty awesome there. This is the 84th Academy Awards presented on Sunday, February 26th, 2012. Honoring movies released in 2011. Best actor goes to Jean Dujardin. Sure. For the artist. Actor in a supporting role goes to Christopher Plummer for Beginners. Actress is Meryl Streep, the Iron Lady. Actress in a supporting role, Octavia Spencer for The Help.
Oh, yeah, she was really good in that.
Did not know she won an Oscar, but well-deserving. She's great. Cinematography goes to Richard Robertson.
Whichever.
Robert Richardson for Hugo. Director goes to Michael Hazanavicius for the artist. Score goes to Ludovic Bors for the artist. And Best Picture goes to the artist. So, I was unaware before I watched this movie that it is entirely a silent film. Nary a word is spoken. So interesting. But IMDb summary: when George, a silent movie star, meets Peppy Miller, a dancer, sparks fly between the two. However, after the introduction of the talking pictures, their fortunes change, affecting their dynamic. So, all right, like it was fine, I appreciate the artistic integrity to make a silent film in a time where silent films aren't being made. But after about 15 minutes of literally no one saying anything and a constant score, I was like, I'm kind of tired of this format. Not super into this. And then I did have a change of pace towards the end of the movie. I started to get into it a little more.
Did it feel like just a early kind of nostalgia bait for earlier films? Because the whole, oh no, what are we going to do now that we can talk in the pictures? I'm fairly certain is the plot of Singing in the Rain.
Is it?
Pretty sure, because they have to have Debbie Reynolds, I think, do the voiceovers for the lead actress because the lead actress is so beautiful. Awful voice.
Oh.
I don't know. That's one I'd actually like to watch all the way through. I've only seen portions of it. But I'm pretty sure that's the plot. So if the artist, when it got nominated, felt like kind of just remember when films were silent? Yeah. And just like historical ones, like, oh, what's something that gets Oscar attention? I know. War movies.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It was just really hard to connect with characters when I have no idea the tone in which they're speaking. Yes, they emote a lot more, as that is the only way I can tell how they feel through their facial expressions. But it's not really enough for me. It's very hard to have any sort of connection to people that aren't... I mean, they're talking, but there's no dialogue. Sometimes they'll put up a little card with like... yeah, same, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, like, it was good, and I did give it an extra half star because I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate the artistic integrity to do something like that. But there was a moment, though, at like 32 minutes in, I got really excited because sound was introduced to the movie, but George couldn't speak, the main actor, and he was clinking things around, and the dog was barking, and he heard people outside. So I thought it was going to take this turn of like, oh, he's woken up in a world where... he's in a picture or something like that where he can't talk and everyone's making fun of him because he can't talk and there's going to be sound happening. It was a dream sequence. I was like, son of a bitch. I thought it was just going to take this very completely different turn, but it didn't. Great social commentary on Hollywood, though. George is in trouble of being phased out. They want newer, younger, fresher faces, and that's what Peppy Miller is. Like, you know, by all accounts, it was a pretty good movie. So it's got a 3.8 out of 5. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I was going to give it a 3, but I gave it an extra half star just because, again, I appreciate what it did. My review is just awkward silence. That's what it says, because there's no talking in the movie.
Yeah, no, I got that.
All right, terrible review. Anyways, it's streaming on Tubi and Plex. You can check it out. I mean, I recommend it. It's something different. You know, it's just, it's also like an hour 40, maybe a little bit long. And by the end, I was like, I want to hear someone speak, for the love of God. So, yeah, that is The Artist. Moving on to the IMDb Roundup. This is The Cabin in the Woods from 2011, released on April 13th of 2012 in the U.S. We'll get there as to why it was delayed. Rated R for strong, bloody horror, violence, and gore, language, drug use, and some sexuality/nudity. There is moderate sex and nudity, severe violence and gore, moderate profanity, moderate alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and severe, frightening, and intense scenes. Coming in at an hour and 35 minutes, listed as a horror mystery thriller. Directed by Drew Goddard, who only has 5 directing credits, but also did Bad Times at the El Royale.
That's on my watch list for us.
Yeah, I want to watch that one as well. Written by Joss Whedon. It's a shame he's kind of a pervy guy, you know, but...
Yeah, he's just kind of a dill hole.
Oh, I thought he was like coming on to women or something.
I don't know.
Wasn't
he
that
did
him?
harass Charisma Carpenter
Yeah.
and basically write her character off because she had the audacity to get pregnant.
Oh, so he's maybe just more like misogynistic-y.
Yeah, like Xander in Buffy, when you do finally watch that with me,
Yeah.
is just a self-insert. And
Yeah.
he's the most entitled man. Like, why she should like me because I'm a good guy.
Okay. So yeah, I like his work, but maybe he's not the greatest person. But he also wrote Toy Story, which is crazy. I had no idea he was involved in that, but also 144 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Avengers 1 and 2, which is pretty cool. Written by Drew Goddard as well, who also wrote 22 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cloverfield, and World War Z. Composed by David Julian, who also composed Memento, The Descent, and The Prestige.
Nice.
Cinematography by Peter Deming, who also did the cinematography for Evil Dead 2, Scream 3 and 4, and Mulholland Drive.
Nice.
A lot of great people worked on this movie, and that's probably why it's so awesome. Edited by Lisa Lassick, who also edited 5 episodes of of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 5 episodes of Firefly, and Avengers 1 and 2. Starring Kristen Connolly as Dana, who was also in The Bay as Stephanie. Was that the one I did the wrong thing on?
I don't know.
You said you literally said...
No, Jesse Williams is who else.
Oh, okay, because you said you better have this...
Now that's Jesse Williams.
Okay,
Get there.
okay.
No, Dana I just had mentioned was in The Happening.
Oh, yes. Chris Hemsworth as Kurt, who we should all know is Thor. He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's just a delightful person.
Yeah, he is. Anna Hutchinson as Jules, who was also in 32 episodes of Power Rangers Jungle Fury as Yellow Cheetah Ranger.
There's a lot of words in that.
Franz Kranz, which is that's a weirdly awesome but bizarre name. He was also in 27 episodes of Dollhouse as Topher Brink.
What?
Jesse Williams as Holden, who was also in 275 episodes of Grey's Anatomy as Dr. Jackson Avery.
Hell yeah, he was.
Richard Jenkins as Sitterson, who was in Step Brothers as Dr. Robert Doback. And we have Bradley Whitford as Hadley, who was also in Get Out as Dean Armitage. Estimated budget of $30 million, grossing $70 million. It was filmed in British Columbia, Canada. You can watch this on Amazon and Plex for a $3.99 rental, or come over to my house and watch the 4K Steelbook. Movies that came out around the same time, we've got 21 Jump Street, The Hunger Games, Wrath of the Titans, Mirror Mirror, The Three Stooges, The Raven, The Avengers, and Dark Shadows. This is going based off the theatrical release in 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen everything except for The Raven?
And one other.
Dark Shadows?
No, I've seen that multiple times.
Wrath of the Titans.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen Wrath of the Titans. Okay, yeah, and The Three Stooges, because
Oh, three.
God,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I'm good.
God, no.
I'm good. IMDb summary. A group of kids go to a remote cabin in the woods, shocker, where their fate is unknowingly controlled by technicians as a part of a worldwide conspiracy, where all horror movie cliches are revealed to be part of an elaborate sacrifice ritual. This is The Cabin in the Woods.
Everybody ready? Get the show on the road!
Doesn't even show up on the GPS. It's unworthy of global positioning.
That's the whole point. Get off the grid, right?
Hello? I'm thinking this thing doesn't take credit cards.
Sign says closed.
We're looking for, what's it called?
Tillerman Road.
Now, to get you there, getting back. That's your concern.
Oh, this is awesome.
Whoa. No way.
The lambs have passed through the gate. They are come to the killing floor.
Let's get this party started!
I seriously believe something weird is going on.
What is that thing?
We have to stay together. This isn't right. We should split up.
Yeah, good idea. Really?
We gotta get out of here.
Somebody sent those things here to get us.
You're missing the point. They want to see us punished.
I think I can get it to go down.
Do we want to go down?
So, Gabby, overall thoughts on The Cabin in the Woods?
I love this movie. It's not a secret. I think it's a really fun movie. First and foremost, it is fun to watch. All the actors are giving solid performances. While they're all tropes, they're not. They are designed to be tropes in the sense that the technicians are making them tropes. So, who they really are is clearly not 100% in line with that, which is nice because, yeah, the bimbo isn't really the bimbo. That's just who they're making her appear to be. And you get that sense of these people are more than these clear defined sacrifices that they're supposed to be. And I think that's really cool. I also appreciate that, though this is a Joss Whedon film, so to speak.
Vehicle,
vehicle. You don't see all of his standard characters in there. You don't have that one strong girl who seems to be completely impervious and way too tough. Or these characters feel different for him. So I like that.
Yeah, my overall thoughts, I agree with all that. My overall thoughts are this is an incredibly original movie while simultaneously pulling out every trope in the book. It's campy, funny, gory, mysterious, and wildly entertaining. I didn't realize how much they give away, though, in that IMDb description. That's kind of like the twist of the movie, right? Like,
well,
the sacrifice is definitely kind of the twist.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I feel like that part's because you already know something's going on and something's weird because you start with those tech guys, but you don't know how they're related to the RV for a while. It's like it slowly builds in that connection, like the pieces slowly start coming together.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really, really intuitive, yeah, you could probably get it pretty fast, but they try to pace it a little bit. They don't really hide it that much.
Yeah, they just give a lot away in that description. I thought that was funny. So, let's talk about opening scene. Really, the opening scene. I mean, if you don't you know, if you don't really read this, and I don't really remember how much the trailer gives away, but if you don't read this, right, it's kind of confusing because it just focuses on Citizen and Hadley having small talk in a government-looking building and then driving off on a golf cart and then bam, cabin in the woods. So you're like, is this the right movie?
Yep.
We watching, I mean, I know it says The Cabin in the Woods, but this doesn't feel
like what's happening?
This doesn't feel like the right movie. So I love that. It's kind of a mysterious, kind of ambiguous opening that really doesn't make sense with the nature of the movie, The Cabin in the Woods. So
yeah.
Things that worked, though, like I said, they use a lot of tropes, but they managed to subvert them in a really cool way. One of the things that they do, obviously, the gas station harbinger. I love that. Vibes very much like Texas Chainsaw, and they kind of make him like funny,
yeah,
in a way. And like Fran's, or Marty is kind of riffing off of what he's saying. So that's a little different than normal, I would say. I don't think it's necessarily subverting that, but
yeah, because really he's doing his bit, and they're responding, albeit at a Whedon level of sarcasm, like a normal person would, just like, okay, dude, being real weird here.
Kind of being freaky.
And, yeah, I think that's funny because a lot of the times in those movies, the movies with those kinds of setups, you've got the asshole jock who's being a real dick for no reason. They're mostly just like, okay, we don't know you and not exactly sure why you're being so rude.
Right. So you have that, very much vibes like Texas Chainsaw, especially since it's at the gas station. That's exactly what happens in the original TCM. The group of 5 cliches as well. You have the virgin Dana, except there's a twist because she's not a virgin, right?
Yep.
So there's that subversion there. The whore, Jules, but she's not I can't remember.
They dumb her down through her hair bleach and make her hornier through her hair bleach.
And the pheromones too.
Yeah.
So she's not really a whore. You have the athlete Kurt, but he's actually a sociology major with a full academic ride. So that subverts that trope of the douchey jock. He's actually also very nice and respectful. Mm-hmm. Then you have the scholar Holden. I don't remember how they
didn't do anything. They just picked one of those two guys to make the jock, and then left the other one alone because they were both intellectual people.
Okay, but then you have the fool, Marty, but he's incredibly insightful and picking up on everything.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned later, they're like, didn't we put a whole bunch of stuff in his weed? Like, what's going on? He's supposed to not be like this, but he's putting everything together, and he's like this conspiracy guy. So you have all the cliches that they managed to subvert every single one. And, of course, you have the trope of the cabin in the woods. There's a cellar in the basement, contains an old book, and once you read a passage out of it, things come to life out of the ground. Very much vibes like Evil Dead. But something I don't know why, I guess I didn't really realize this. Maybe I did and I just kind of forgot about it. But everything in that basement summons a different thing. Mm-hmm. Like the book summons the people that come out of the ground. The conch would summon...
Yeah, because Dana says all that shit in the basement we were playing with, they made us choose.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I just watch movies so passively that I don't really pick up on the minute details.
Later on, I'll tell you something really stupid I just now clicked in on.
Oh, okay. I love that.
About Borderlands, so...
Let's see what else we have. Having sex gets you killed, except one of them does survive. Usually in that situation, both of them die, but Kurt manages to survive and come back to the cabin. The group splitting up, but they don't want to split up at first. They're like, we should all stick together. And then they hit them with that thing, they press a button and something pops out of a vent.
It's like mist.
Yeah, and Kurt's like, nah, we should split up. So it's like, the people behind this experiment or the ritual are like the cause of the tropes. Like they're making the tropes happen.
Yeah. So it's all intentional and it's outright intentional too. It's not like, oh no, look how this trope just happened to happen. No, they're clearly saying we're staging this.
Well, yeah, because they stage them if the group doesn't go do what they want them to do. Like they were staying together. They're like, nope, they can't stay together. They got to split up. So it's a fun little addition. Like they weren't going to fall victim to most of the tropes until they were kind of persuaded to do so. I really like that. Trying to escape the cabin only to find the way is blocked. Again, Evil Dead. Thinking a character was dead, but coming back to save the day. Another good trope. And then, of course, we have a final girl. Well, technically, in this one, we have a final guy and girl. So that's always fun. So they take a lot of these tropes and subvert most of them. There's also a crazy amount of references to other movies. Obviously, Evil Dead is the most prominent. But they actually, the cabin is an exact replica of the one from 1981. Yeah. Which is really, really cool. So I love that. Of course, you have a reference to the Ringu from the Kyoto experiment. There's all the creatures on the whiteboard. There's so many references to different movies like Cube. Every time, when you see all the creatures in like that elaborate scheme of boxes, that's very much like Cube. You have a whole bunch of monsters in there, Left 4 Dead monsters.
Oh yeah, there was supposed to be a tie-in DLC for that, but it got canceled. But you can see a witch, a boomer, a smoker, and a spitter. I don't think you can see a tank in there. But yeah, it's really cool because once you see them, like the boomer is so easy to spot, and so is the witch.
Yeah. There's also a reference to the X-Files when Marty tells Dana the following, like, "We are not who we are." It's a direct reference to the X-Files, season 1, episode 8. I think there's also an appearance by a Reaver from Firefly.
Yes. There are Reavers. They throw a guy over a balcony into a snake.
Okay. So yeah, there's also references all over this movie. It's great. So I love the tropes. I love the references. It was definitely something you can watch and be like, hey, I know all this. But going into the actual movie itself, something I noticed for the first time, and it's because you just forget about it. But when they're going to the cabin, there's a bird that's flying that hits that invisible wall and falls. And by the time Kurt goes to get on the dirt bike to jump and escape, you've already forgotten about that. At least I had. Yeah. And then he hits the wall and you're like, oh yeah, they kind of foreshadowed that death way early in the film. What was the thing that you noticed for the first time?
On this watch?
Well, you said you had something you noticed that you wanted to tell me.
Oh, no, that was about Borderlands. I was just saying I've also had a moment where you're like, this has been sitting in front of me for so long. Why am I dumb?
It happens.
Not for this. This one, I always just try to see as many creatures as physically possible. I know there's also references to the Strangers. I don't remember if you said that one. Mm-mm. And on the board, there's a reference to Kevin, which is the guy that Elijah Wood plays in Sin City, the guy with the glasses and he's just ping-ponging around.
It's either a reference to that or we need to talk about Kevin.
When did We Need to Talk About Kevin come out? Because Kevin is from Sin City, and I guarantee you Joss Whedon would make a more direct reference to a Frank Miller project.
I'm not saying you're wrong. We Need to Talk About Kevin came out the same year.
So unlikely that they referenced a film that was filming.
I read it somewhere. It said it could have been one or the other. Jeez.
And then I also pointed out that the clown wielding the knife, while a different design, felt like a direct nod to the Nightmare episode in season 2 of Buffy. I believe it's season 2. Might have been season 1.
I'm going to go with Pennywise, but either way, it still works.
Because Xander gets chased by a clown with a knife in his hand who holds it the same way, does the same kind of stupid laugh and walk. So it always felt like a reference to that.
That's fair. Yeah, this movie is riddled with references.
Which is all intentional. It's all intentional to say, because it's really saying, and that's why the tropes work, every horror movie you've ever seen was a setup.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I love about this. It's takes from so many things and so many movies, but it doesn't feel derivative. Like I don't know how they were able to do that.
Because they didn't just do direct copies or cheap copies. They did high quality alternate versions. Like the Hellraiser type character. Mm-hmm. He feels so unique, except you also know exactly what they're referencing. The Strangers characters, you know exactly what they're referencing, but they feel like they walked out of their own film.
That's true.
And I think that's what really made that work is the designs are clearly derivative in that sense, but they put the effort into the designs to make them quality, make them feel like they belong in that universe.
Yeah, and I especially love the whatever she is, the ballerina.
Everybody loves the ballerina.
So I was reading something somewhere where it's like, I feel like they got inspiration for Abigail from this.
Yeah, right.
Which I could totally see. The
ballerina is one of those ones everybody kind of wants to see how that would have played out.
She's creepy as fuck, and that was done practically too. I've seen behind the scenes footage, or not footage, but pictures of her like with that makeup on, and there is a lot of practical effects in this. Of course, when all the monsters jump out of the elevator at the end, that's not practical.
There's a split there. Some of those they weirdly enough weren't going to make a giant snake monster, which also, by the way, could have been a reference to a later season of Buffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers for me, I guess.
Though this snake, weirdly enough, higher quality despite the other snake being partially practical.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe it was a reference to Anaconda.
Not that kind of snake.
I guess it did have like
the thing.
Cobra things.
Yeah, the cobra things, the fanny bits.
Fanny bits. That's it.
The outie parts.
Outie parts. So some things that worked for me. Obviously, I love Hadley and Sitterson. I think they've got great chemistry together.
Absolutely.
They're so good. And I also love Hadley's obsession with seeing a merman. He like bets on it every single year, and he gets upset. He's like, he had the conch in his hand. Oh my God. We were right there. And then it's just like so poetic of him to die by the merman.
Oh yeah.
It's like such not justice, I would say, but it's just like so poetic. He sees the merman just crawling out of the fog. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Good stuff. And the movie does a really good job of being mysterious, but also revealing more and more as the story progresses. You find out that there's more experiments going on around the world. Like in Kyoto, they have a ring type demon over there. The kids actually end up vanquishing and turning into a frog. That was fucking hilarious. So you realize that this is just the thing that's happening around the world, and it is to appease the gods, the what are they called?
The old gods, yeah.
The first gods, the ritual gods, whatever.
The old gods that used to rule the earth.
Yeah, by appeasing them, because if we don't appease them, then they come up and wreck all our shit. So that's why they have so many tests going on all the time
I think it's like an annual ritual. They have to have at least one successful ritual.
Yeah, they don't this year, which really kind of fucks them over. I also like the cellar full of all the objects because, you know, whichever one you pick ends up summoning something. And like there's so many creatures on that whiteboard, you know. People have paused and wrote them all down and stuff like that. But I just think that's cool. I like that we just gotta, I don't think they necessarily had to do an extravagant monster. We got basically zombies. They had a different name though.
Oh, they called them redneck torture zombies.
Yeah, because someone loses a bet that they bet.
She lost the pool and she said, well, I had zombies too. Like, yeah, you had zombies. These are redneck torture zombies.
Like the Blanchard family or something like that. So that's great.
The Blanchard family.
There was something weird like that. I don't know. But it's just such a fun story that keeps getting escalated. And then, of course, Sigourney Weaver just pops out at the end like, oh, hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah, which is funny because it was the second movie, I think that year, where she randomly popped up in the end of the film as the villain. I'm like, is this like a thing you're going to be doing?
What was the other one?
Paul.
What?
The one with Simon Pegg?
No, I know.
Yeah, she just pops up at the end. She's the villain. And you're like, what?
Yeah, because she starts talking over the intercom.
Bucknurse. It was the Bucknurse. Sorry, that was driving me nuts.
Bucknurse. Oh, the Bucknurse. Yeah. Whatever they were, yeah.
Anyway, Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver is the villain.
Sigourney Weaver.
If I should make an IMDb or a letterbox list where times Sigourney Weaver talks over like a speaker, like a PA system, because it would be Finding Dory and The Cabin in the Woods. Weird, dumb connection that I made there. Something else that's great is everyone starts dying off, and you think Marty's dead when she comes back in the end. Everyone starts getting killed off, and they preemptively start celebrating and doing tequila shots, and then the red phone rings. So like, oh no, what do you mean she's not a virgin? What do you mean Marty's not dead? And he comes back with that $5,000 bong to save the day.
Yeah, and that's something I really enjoyed, is then like when she's the final girl in that moment and they're kind of having a conversation because they're watching her die. They're watching her,
get thrown around.
Get yeeted all over that dock. which is clearly a reference to Jason, especially how he comes up out of the water
yeah.
after. Just so very much a reference to Jason. But Hadley's like having this whole moment, and up to this point, they're kind of just treating it like business, aside from the little betting pool, which feels like a very office environment kind of thing. Really but they're still like, they're trying to get their job done, and they've got the girl who works in the chem lab who's being way uptight about it, and they've got their new security liaison in the room with them because they're in almost like a bunker type room inside the building. And he's just new to the whole thing and even like questioned some stuff, and they're like, hey man, this is the job. And so we have this moment where Hadley is talking about how she's got such heart and she really cares, and suddenly someone walks in and he turns over and goes, tequila is my lady, which got quoted heavily for years in my friend group. But yeah, it kind of just gives this moment where it's like, oh, so maybe they do care. It's like only in a passing sort of way. To them, this is just a job. So these people are really a means to an end and less so actual people, because they have to disassociate in that way. And at this point, they've done so comfortably.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a job that has, it's kind of a high-risk job, because if they don't get the sacrifices they need to appease the gods, then they come up and fuck everything up.
Well, yeah, and at a certain point, if you're doing this regularly...
The ancient ones, there we go.
Yes.
The ancient ones.
At this point, if you're doing that regularly, you kind of do have to disassociate, which is why it's funny when Hadley starts tiptoeing near a feeling and gets sidetracked by liquor.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because as soon as they're done, they're like, okay, stress release. We all did it. Because now they can they just mentally move on immediately. They just don't see them as people at that point.
Well, and you get so comfortable in your job too as well. It's almost this weird commentary of like feeling comfortable that you've done something only for something to come back and bite you in the ass. Like, we didn't, and that's what I love about the cabin in the woods, is they didn't actually show Marty's death on screen. Which is a key rule in horror movies. If you don't see them actually die on screen, they're never dead, because he gets pulled over a hill and then you hear just like a smack, smack. So you're like, oh yeah, he's probably dead, but you didn't see him die on screen. But it's funny that they didn't pick up that he was alive with all the cameras and shit that they have around there. I guess they didn't feel the need to look for anybody because they just assumed he died.
Well, and also if he's in the grave, in the room, they're not looking inside that little room in the grave.
Weird that they don't have cameras there, just saying.
Yeah. But I totally lost my thought. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, I love when it's revealed that he's alive and he pulls the virgin. Dana?
Yep.
Yeah. When he pulls Dana down into that room and you get a glimpse of kind of how everything's working, and there's an elevator there and you're like, oh, okay, so the cube system down below, when you pick up the right thing, it moves their cube up to this place and then they come out of that grave. I thought that was really fun. And the movie really goes from, it's got like the wildest third act, because it goes from a cabin in the woods zombie movie almost to like a who's behind this, and then to a multi-creature feature with all the things at the end.
Yeah, turns into a whole bloodbath at the end. It's just, which I think is funny because, that was one thing I always questioned about it. Like, one question I had is, do they just have a playbook of rituals they can go by? Does every country have their own ritual they have to complete, but one of them has to get complete? Because weirdly enough, I don't think they were in the classroom of little girls in Japan were had a whore type sacrifice in the room.
Well, I think the cliche probably is limited to like U.S., like it probably probably the tropes are limited to where the tropes are most prevalent.
So I'm guessing they have a playbook of these are the things we can use.
Right.
And I always thought that was funny because it's like, damn, all those people died and that still didn't count.
Right. Yeah. That still didn't matter because they need every single person's blood to fulfill the.
And apparently that's non-transferable because I guess there was no fool in that entire company that could have died. Maybe Ronald the intern was an idiot. We don't know.
Ronald the intern. Yeah, but that's what's so cool about this movie is the fact that there are those tonal shifts, and they somehow manage to let the audience experience things that the characters in the movie don't. Like, we know that all these tests are going on, but then you also experience things firsthand with those characters, like when they go down and see all the cubes. We didn't know that was there, so you kind of get to see this third-person view of, oh, I know everything that's going on, but then they have these other reveals, like, oh, shit, we didn't know that. So that's why I think it's so good at being mysterious, and I think that keeps your attention ultimately for the entire runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very fun movie. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got, I think there's one scene of nudity. You've got gore. You've got creatures. You've got humor. I mean, Chris Evans, not Chris Evans.
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, as one of the funniest deaths probably of 2011. It's one of the greatest deaths. But let's see. Yes, and then, of course, I love the ending, the incredible ending explanation for why all of this is happening. It's also a great commentary, though, too, because the Ancient Ones, who are the gods that need to be appeased via the ritual, are kind of symbolic of us as the audience, who unquestionably just demand an endless cycle of repeated tropes that limit the genre as a whole. But at the end of the Cabin in the Woods, the Ancient Ones rise up from the earth and destroy everything, creating a clean slate that could harken a new era for horror cinema. So it's kind of fun commentary as well, if you kind of look into it like that. I know there's more you want to say. You said you had so much to say. Enlighten me.
I don't know. I know I'd said the one thing I had a question about. I think, like I said, I think this is a very interesting take. What you just said was a very good point about us being the Ancient Ones being symbolic of us. I think I did want to say that I do think it's funny that they have a grave that these redneck zombies are coming out of that has a trap door that goes into a utility room where there's a floor that opens that goes straight down into an elevator box. Yeah. Except, how are they getting out of that?
Thank you. I was about to say.
And then they know they're supposed to go out of that door after that. So that's one thing I always thought was really funny is like
the mechanics.
So how are they getting up there? Because there's no like lift inside of there. So they have to climb. They have to somehow hoist themselves up, and then. Okay.
I don't know. He did kind of, I guess, like hot wire it in a way. So maybe he was able to only use certain functions. Like, I don't know. But yeah, the mechanics of that all don't really make sense.
No. Plus also the way the rooms move around. It's like, what tracks are they running on? Whatever.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's just like Cube, but they're all mismatched and they're not necessarily in the form of a cube. It's all just kind of this amorphous blob of cubes.
Look, don't give me the time to destroy Cube all over again, because I will.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. You want to watch the other two with me?
God, no. God, no.
I'm going to trick you. I'm going to say, we're going to watch this movie, and it's going to come up Cube 2.
I'll leave.
Hypercube.
No, I know. I think I talked about a lot of the stuff I did want to talk about it. I just have a fun memory of watching this when it came out. I do recall that at this point, I think Thor had already come out.
It did, yeah.
So that's and they released it after. So they're just like, Thor?
Yeah, because it was, like I said, it was completed in 2011, and but then it got shelved. I have the trivia on it. We'll go into it later. But yeah, so it got delayed until 2012. So yeah, Thor had already come out, and then this one came out, and you're like, but this seems like it's backwards. Wouldn't you have gone from Cabin in the Woods to Thor? But yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty funny. So when that happened, I remember seeing both in theaters because my roommate at the time was very big on the Marvel movies. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go along. I like a superhero. So I saw that and Captain America and I think the Avengers with her. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good times. I only have one thing that didn't work for me because, minus the mechanics of how the creatures get out. I'm not going to sit here and be like, tear that apart. It's just the fact that there was no ramp at all. There was no sort of incline for Kurt to jump that fucking, what would you even call that? Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah. no incline at all. It was just, level ground, but somehow he's flown into the air. I'm like, that you couldn't have at least put like a little incline there so he could have gotten some air. It's my only problem I have.
Well, I think I said when that happened, I said, why didn't they, I'm like, I kind of wonder why they didn't just see if there was a place to climb to try to scale upward behind them and then go around over the cave, because it's like right on the edge and there's a straight up cliff right there. So it's not like a sheer face with a cliff in it.
Yeah, you could probably get up there.
But I thought that was funny. Also would have been optional to just hide in the woods, because that's a whole lot of woods for those zombies to be searching.
That's true.
They're not that fast.
Just say they can't have cameras over every single fucking square inch of that, or square foot of that massive forest.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that Jesse was like, "Yeah, we're gonna keep going." Jesse Williams, sorry.
Holden.
Yes, Holden. That was like, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep driving, and then when we can't drive anymore, we're gonna keep walking, and then immediately crashes into the lake. So, like, were you gonna drive into the lake? Where were you going?
Into the lake, yeah.
Apparently, I do think that's funny, but it's also part of the setup. There were probably other options for them to escape, but they didn't think of any of them. And there were other things they could have done, but nobody ever does those things. I doubt those zombies could scale a tree. And what, they're going to check up every tree in the woods?
Yeah. Although these did seem to be pretty capable zombies. I mean,
slightly more intelligent.
He's got, that main guy has literally one of the coolest killing devices. It's a bear trap on a chain. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Amazing. I forgot about that. And I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. Did you say what didn't work for you?
I mentioned my two things.
Okay, yeah. Terrible memory of a goldfish. Hot take for me. I don't know. Best Cabin in the Woods movie? I don't know.
Could be.
I mean, no shade to Evil Dead 2. I love that movie. No shade. Well, okay. Maybe Evil Dead 2013. Maybe.
I don't know. To me, they're not comparable because they're so different.
It's kind of hard, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. Best Cabin in the Woods movie? Like
a beautiful love letter to Cabin in the Woods movies.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of like
certainly up there.
My question is like, I don't know. Is this? Could be. Hot take for you?
I don't really have a hot take on this one.
I just love it.
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just love it. Hooks for me is when it's finally revealed that Sitterson and Hadley are watching the group of five in the cabin, but you don't unless you read the summary, I guess, but you don't exactly know why, because you see them with all the cameras and all the stuff, and you're like, okay, why are we doing this? And how did we get these people here? Because they slowly reveal that too. There's a guy up on the roof when they leave saying, the subjects are in motion or whatever. And it's slightly revealed more and more like, oh yeah, we dyed her hair and did this. So like they've been involved with these people's lives for like an indeterminate amount of time, but they've been behind the scenes for a while. So I love that when you're like, all right, we're doing something weird with this Cabin in the Woods.
Nefarious. Yes.
Nefarious. What about you?
Based on the ease at which I saw this, I guess he'd say I was hooked at the poster. But also
I was hooked pre-movie.
Yeah, because I mean the poster was enough to make me go, yeah, I'll go watch that. And I think when they're having the conversation in the opening, and then it tries to jump scare you with the fucking title card where it's just scream and it just baps onto the screen.
And you're like, ah.
Yeah, I think that's where I got hooked, because I'm like, Jesus, guys, all right.
Thank you for that. Lost for me, I'm never lost, I assume. You're never lost.
Never once, not never.
Horror moment is when Holden, Dana, and Kurt, they're all in the van, they're on the RV going away, and Holden just gets stabbed through the throat.
Yeah. No, it's just the two of them at that point.
Okay.
Okay,
that's right, because Kurt has already smashed himself into the wall. That's my horror moment, just because I always forget about that scene every time, because everything's fine. They're just in the RV, the Rambler, trying to get away, and then just knife through neck. You're like, oh, shit. Not a good time. What about you, horror moment?
Let's see. As far as like jump scares or anything like that, I don't know.
That's not all the monsters coming out, because like obviously that's a great horror moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I like the moment where the Buckner father decides to yeet what's-her-face's head at Dana for her to catch.
That was pretty
I was just
good.
like, damn, bro. Like, he's on a killing mission, but also, here, had
you
this
go.
souvenir.
This is for you.
Yeah, I always enjoy that bit.
I guess that would be, I guess I put this under the wrong part here. I guess this would be something that didn't work. The system purge that they have makes no sense. Why would you want to release everything? Why wouldn't the purge kill all the things? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
The button that releases everything makes no sense. Anyways, favorite kill, it's Hadley. It's just so poetic for him to die by the one thing that he's always wanted to see.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's perfect. It's great. Just because his reaction, too, was like, you got to be kidding me, or whatever
and
he
it's so
says.
gory. I remember seeing some behind-the-scenes stuff on that where, like, it was just so much blood. It was just a pool of blood from the spray.
Yeah,
because
because it's great because the merman has a blowhole, I guess, and it just blew all of the blood out of
Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to be as aggressive as it was, but it ended up just being everywhere.
Love it so much. Favorite characters, Marty. I don't know. I love a good stoner character, and he's like all, highbrow, just like thinking about the universe, and he's really funny.
And Marty is more than a stoner trope, too, because he is a stoner. And realistically, Marty and Dana are the only Marty, Dana, and Holden are the only ones we see being themselves to the best of our knowledge, because we don't know if they've done anything to Dana at all. Holden seems to have been left alone. And Marty, they think they've treated, so you think they've maybe done something to him. Nah, he's just stoned.
Well, they mentioned something about, like, didn't we...
they treated all his stuff, but apparently they missed a batch.
Yeah, didn't we spray all of his stuff or whatever?
Yeah, and so I also really like Marty as a character, though, because when the Harbinger is being really shitty, he starts sassing him back, not in an overly aggressive way, but still kind of being rude to him back. And he's like, so the Harbinger gets upset and he's like, well, you were rude to my friend. When Dana accidentally kills, not Hadley, who's the other guy?
Sitterson.
She immediately, like, you can see on her face immediately how bad she feels, and he gives her the gun and says, here, it's easier with this.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's a good friend and he's a chill guy, but, he's kind of strong in a very quiet way and extremely intelligent. But since he's stoned, nobody's taking him that seriously. They kind of just, Marty, you're funny. Not in a they think he's stupid kind of way, just he's high.
Like, don't they say at one point, oh, he's going on one of his other rants or something like that? Or was that a different movie?
Yeah, you're thinking of when he was like, I'm going to leave before Cheech. It was like Chris Hemsworth was going full jock douche mode.
Where they go bang in the woods.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Marty's just a cool character because all around, he feels like a character you'd want to hang out with in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Franz Kranz. That's your favorite character too?
Duh.
Least favorite character? Honestly, no one. Even though they're all somewhat cliche, they all have a likability about them, and most of them subvert the normal expectations. There's not one person. I mean, I don't know. I guess the people that are doing the experiments, but hey, it's a job. I got this job we got to do. So somehow everybody has likable qualities about them.
Yeah, like I don't even dislike any of those people because, yeah, they're trying to do a job that they feel justified in doing.
Well, to keep the ancient ones at bay, that's pretty justified.
Yeah, and you can even see someone at the beginning of that cycle where they're questioning it, but they get it at the same time. And Sigourney Weaver doesn't even have enough screen time for me to make a decision about her. I feel like I've got some characters that are like lead characters that are like, they're fine. They're not my most favorite, but they're kind of just, we don't really get enough about them to care about them one way or the other.
Yeah, not everyone has
like
enough.
Jules, she's goes full dumb blonde pretty fast.
And then dies.
But not to the extent that you get in a lot of movies, but you don't ever see who she really is. And Chris Hemsworth starts going more and more dumb jock as you go along. So you do actually get to see some of him early on, more a sense of his personality. And then Holden is respectable. He's clearly a nice guy in the sense that, he alerted Dana when there was the two-way mirror thing. And
that was great because you think that she's going to be the perv because he starts taking his clothes off and she's like, yeah. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that.
And she's like, oh, he's attracted. Oh, he's taking his pants off.
Oh, God.
And yeah, but again, you don't get a whole lot of Holden other than he's a nice guy and potential love interest.
Exactly. Okay. Favorite line is kind of a twofer here because it's someone says something and then Sitterson responds to it. So I have to give you the setup. They're talking about, I think pheromones or something that they need to pump into the wherever the person is in the cabin. And she goes, so should we pipe it in or do we do it orally? And he goes, oh, ask me that again, but slower. Jesus. Fucking kills me every time. What about you?
I don't have a favorite because there are just so many, like Marty yelling about the puppets, honey toes. There's too many.
I figured you would have said the one where he keeps hearing, I'm going to take a walk. He's like, I hear you. And then he's like, I'm going to take a walk.
Yeah, I do. He's like, I'm the master of my own mind. I'm going to take a walk. Yeah, but there's just so many good one-liners in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good one-liners. A couple random thoughts here. I think it's hilarious that the God of Thunder was in this movie. Not only that, though, the fact that he was drinking beer out of a cup that Thor would totally use. Yeah, he's drinking it out of like a metal stein. Like, that's totally something Thor would drink out of. And who the fuck leaves a cabin with bedrooms to fuck outside? It's very strange.
It's a great question.
Those are my two random thoughts there. I guess I did not write a review. Normally I would do something like, instead of shamelessly, or if I didn't shamelessly plug my podcast, this is the review I would write, but I didn't write one, so did it. Nailed it.
Sometimes you've seen the movie so many times, you're focused on the picture, not so much what are you going to say about it later.
That's true.
You're living in the moment.
I was taking a lot of notes. Anything else you would like to say on The Cabin in the Woods before we wrap up?
I don't think so. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely watch it. It's a fun time.
At this point, if you haven't watched it, I mean...
Get it together.
Just spoiled everything for you. Jeez. All right, so let's move on to post-review stuff here. Taglines: if you hear a strange sound outside, have sex. Well, I figured you would have laughed. If an old man warns you not to go there, make fun of him. If the basement door swings open, go down there. And if something is chasing you, split up.
Yeah, sorry. The way you said that, I was looking down for my reviews for a second, so I thought that you were not done with that sentence, which is why I did not read it.
Oh, sorry. You're fine.
You said, have sex, and then what?
And then what? This is the coolest thing ever. So the thermal coffee mug bong was a fully functional mug and bong as portrayed in the film, the prototype of which cost $5,000. Crazy shit. During the lake scene, the only student, that's weird. The only person.
They are college students.
Oh. During the lake scene, the only student to not jump in the lake is Marty, who remains fully clothed on the dock. This was partially due to Franz Kranz noticeably being in good, if not better shape than the other male students. In the commentary for the film, the writers joked that he was ripped like muscular Jesus, and assert that if Marty were to have shown being fit, it would have ruined the character. This is partly also why Marty wears baggier clothes than the other students.
That's why we actually looked up the picture, and this is factual, because damn, bro.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yep. He's
looking good. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard wrote the script in just 3 days. That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The failed ritual from the other countries are references to classic movies and monsters. The Kyoto ritual is a reference to Ringu. Buenos Aires is a reference to King Kong. The Stockholm ritual is a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing. And the Madrid ritual appears to be a reference to Dracula. Oh, here we go. Yes. After the film was shelved due to the studio's bankruptcy, even director Drew Goddard and producer Joss Whedon had little faith in it until Lionsgate saw the finished film, loved it, and picked it up for release. So there you go. And Franz Kranz received extensive prop and behavior training in order to capture the stoner persona of Marty. He went to a joint rolling session and a separate bong lighting session from expert consultants, which is hilarious. And I think, is this a goof? Oh, no. Sorry. Several of the control room screens had to be manually synchronized. The sequences that take place in the underground control room feature a bay of monitors. Since the film was not made on a gigantic budget, someone had to actually manually sync all those monitors rather than using green screen. Drew Goddard cites that as one of the most difficult aspects to pull off, but also one of the most rewarding. Goofs, when Diana is saving Holden by stabbing a zombie coming through a ceiling trapdoor in the chest repeatedly, you can clearly see she's holding a retractable stage property kitchen knife as she backs away. The RV has a traditional rear view mirror and side mirrors. The side mirrors make sense for an oversized vehicle, but the rear view mirror would not help you at all, as it would just show the driver its interior of the RV. So
maybe he wants to see what's back there.
Rated 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, a 92% on the tomato meter, and a 74% audience score. What did you rate this?
5 stars.
5 stars. Maybe I'll bump mine up then. What was that 4?
I was going to say, you can't go higher than 5. What do you mean?
6 stars. Maybe I'll do, it's at a 4 now, but I'll probably just give it a 4.5.
I had it at a 4.5, and I was like, what are you doing?
All right, so then if you moved it up, I'll move it up. So 4.5 from me, 5 from you. That is a Frightmare certified slap. Similar movies according to Letterboxd. We have Cabin Fever, Scream, House of a Thousand Corpses, Trick or Treats, and Scream 4. Similar movies according to IMDb. We have Saw, The Mist, Sinister, Hereditary, and It. Let's do some funny reviews. What do you got?
From Andre Gracchiotti. I don't know how to say your last name. Sorry, bro. 5 stars. I only talk to people who love this movie.
4 stars from Nagomi. Why does Marty look like the human version of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
3.5 stars from Megan. That cabin was for sure in the woods.
4 stars from Rudy. I wish I was as self-aware as this movie is.
3.5 stars from Anthony. That merman shit never gets old.
It really, really doesn't. 4.5 stars from Tren. He's got a husband bulge.
Another good one-liner.
Yeah, another good one. Is that all you had?
Yeah.
Okay. I had one more that I lost, apparently. Oh, here we go. 5 stars from Tren. Again, I guess. I would cut off my own foot to watch this for the first time again.
Fair.
Oh boy, if you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher app, Blue Sky, Threads, and YouTube at frightmarespodcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are...
Watson LMP 90.
Booyah! Be sure to go follow our sister podcast, The Shameless Picture Show, and also check out the Dead-Eyed Millennial podcast as well, 2 shows I edit. Next week, Corey and I will be doing The Possession from 2012. So until then, stay tuned and...
Stay spooky.